Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. It's Sunday afternoon here, and I wanted to show you guys my seedlings or my little Flask babies, and also tell you about the care that I give it and what my experience with growing them has been like. So I started growing Flask babies around November of last year. So it's been about a year since I've grown them, and you can see all of these. So this is my Vanda over here, my Sophronitis cernua back here. They are very small, but they are a miniature type of orchid, so they don't get like a really big. These are doing really well. I have my Neophonetia here. You can see some of them has passed away, but those were the super duper tiny ones, and when you have Flask babies, you are going to have some of them that are just going to die because they are too small to leave their flasks. Here are some more of my Vandas in the back over there. I think that's the Vanda tricolor. They're doing wonderful as well. I have my Cygnocus. Some of them are big enough to go through a winter rest, so their leaves are starting to get really ugly and drop. Like that one is starting to yellow, and some of the leaves have already dropped on some of them. My Rhynchostylus over here, lots of them. They are from different batches and different sellers. So the big ones are from an eBay seller, and the smaller ones are from a seller in Thailand, I believe. These are my crosses of paths. These are pretty new. They've only been with me for about maybe 2 months, so hopefully they last through the winter. These are my Cattleyas, and they have been with me for quite a long time, and some of them, especially that one, is getting a lot bigger than the other one, so I can tell that one's gonna be like a big brother to the other ones. I have some more in the back, and my Rhynchostylus from the Thailand seller. Unfortunately, because they traveled a long way, they tend not to do as well as the ones that just came to me from Florida, which only took 2 days. I have some more of my Laelia tenebrosa over here. So I wanted to talk to you guys about their care. When I first bought these, I knew that they require a lot of work, and they totally do. You should not buy them if you cannot provide them with daily care, and these do require almost daily care or daily care. They take up a lot of your time, and they like a lot of water. So my first year growing them, I did not do so well because I tend to forget about them, and I would keep them in my house where it was warmer, but I would have to mist them every day. So here's something that I put together later on when I had a little more experience, and this is something that's just like your food containers. This is one of my Cattleyas, and these are from the same batch as these over here, but because these are the smaller ones, so I didn't take them out and put them in their own containers here. I put them all together in here. So what I did was I just took a food container, a to-go container, no holes whatsoever, and I would fill it with a little bit of bark and also mostly sphagnum moss. So let's go closer up. I lay them out, and these have gotten really big. They used to be really small. I laid them out. I didn't really pot them so much. Like, I just lay them on top of the sphagnum moss. Then I close it, labeled it, and I wet the sphagnum moss a little bit, so it's not soaking wet, but it's just a little bit of moisture, and that's what I kept it as. Usually I do not open them up at all. I close them for about a few weeks, and then I open it up. I check on the plants. If it's kind of dry, I spritz a little bit of water, and then I close it again. This one, see how there's bark underneath? There's no holes underneath whatsoever either. So you don't want it to get really wet, but you also don't want to get really dry either. And because this one is not airproof, there's still some air that escapes, it's going to get drier over time. But this is a really good example of what to do if your plants are too small or if you don't have a lot of time to take care of it. You only have to check on this every few weeks or so. So then I just label it, and that's pretty much it. I leave it, either I can leave it here, which I don't, but I actually leave them on my windowsill where they get a little bit of light, and that's pretty much it. Another thing you can do if you have a greenhouse or space to keep them is to put them in their separate containers. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this for the bigger or the smaller orchids. I would recommend just putting it in here. For the ones that are the biggest, you can put them into these containers. So this is actually a container from the Dollar Tree. They sell these, I think it was like 20 of them. I can't remember specifically, 20 shot glasses. And these are actually plastic. What I did was I took a drill or a soldering tool, and I put a hole in the bottom, which you can't really see right now because I don't want to flip it over. I put one hole at the bottom, that's it. And I pot it in tiny bark. So this is fine bark. And then I water it every single day. This is sitting inside my greenhouse. I do water it every single day, and they will get dried out really quickly because they are in a small container, but I wanted to keep them separated from each other because I wanted them to kind of grow up and be their own little plants. And it is really difficult later on if all of their roots get attached to one another. This is something you can do, especially if you're hitting the summer season or the spring season. I would not recommend doing this in the winter when it's really cold because they tend to grow really slow in the winter and they might struggle. So this is something that I would only recommend you do if you have a greenhouse where you can keep the temperature steady and warm for them all the time, or if you're hitting the summer season, the warm season, and they can take care of themselves pretty much. I don't have a lot of deceased plants with this one. I've only had some dead one over here, the Neo-Phoenicia, and these were really, really small. So I did not expect them to survive anyway, and I probably should have put them into the big container with a whole bunch of other ones, but I got lazy and I didn't want to do that, so I potted them, and you can see that they did not survive. So this is something that you have to manage. You have to check on them pretty often, water them every day, and make sure that they're warm enough and they get enough light. But so far, these guys, the oldest guys that have been with me would probably be 6 months. The ones that I've grown from last year all died because I didn't put in a lot of time for them, and my cats got to them. So this is also something that you should only do if you have the space and you don't have animals that come in and destroy them or whatever. Don't let your cats get to them because these are kind of easy to flip over. I bought these trays. These are just holding trays, and you can get them anywhere. You can get them at a hydroponic store. That's where I got mine, just at a local hydroponic store. It was about $2.50. They sell them with holes and without holes, so I just got the one with holes. And whenever I water them, and I use a fine mist to water them from the top, it would just drain down here. So these are just my experience for growing these types of plants. It is really time consuming, and they will take about 2 or 3 years to mature enough, but you can tell that some of them are going to be bigger than others. So like I showed you here before, my Cattleyas over there, they're growing really fast, and at the first month or two, Some of them will not make it, and most of them will be kind of, they're not going to grow that much because they're still adapting to their new environment. They've just came out of Flask, but you can see like this one is really, really big. That one is the biggest, so I potted it in actually a cup versus a shot glass, and it is growing really, really well. So it's putting out a whole lot of roots. My Vandas do really, really well out of Flask. These Vanda tricolors over here are doing wonderful as well. These are the bigger ones, and you can see these are the smaller ones. But yeah, if you guys want to dabble in growing these, I would recommend do some research and then see if you can put in the required time and energy for them, because they do take more energy than other orchids. Or if you want instant reward, just buy like a full blooming size one, no problem at all. I just wanted to grow them because I thought it would be neat to learn something new and to dabble in something different. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you guys next time. Bye!